That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica.
We've witnessed Donald Trump, the level of brokenness, the level of solemnity that he has brought to the moment in history of Charlie Kirk's assassination. How are you holding up after your friend was brutally killed? Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. Hey, did you see all the trucks? We're building a ballroom, y'all. Yeah, we've seen how tore up he is. Yesterday at Charlie Kirk's memorial service, a very strange political rally is what it ended up being. And look, I feel for Erica Kirk. I'm giving her a whole bunch of leeway in this moment. We'll see where she goes with her anger and frustration and grief and sadness. She lost her husband. She's a conservative. Yeah, she has reprehensible ideas, but her kids now don't have a dad. Imagine being in that position. Take the politics out of it. You can take the politics out of it. I feel bad for her. I feel empathy for her. I can't imagine what she's going through. I can't imagine what those kids are going through. So I'll give her a little bit of a pass. But the rest of conservatives are watching Donald Trump do his toddler dance on the stage with this grieving widow, in and out of tears. She's going through it, and Donald Trump is doing his rousing toddler dance on the stage, talking about how much he hates his opponents. Talking explicitly about going after commentators and influencers. I don't consider myself an influencer. Many do consider me that. He's talking about going after the opponents that he hates, while also demonstrating that he doesn't give a shit about the death of Charlie Kirk. He's not tore up about it. It's just another moment for self-aggrandizement on the part of Donald Trump. Watch the toddler dance that I'm talking about here, and then we'll move on to some of the more important stuff.
President Trump and Erica Kirk on stage together there after a moving and emotional afternoon in Glendale, Arizona, remembering Charlie Kirk.
How can anybody see that and think that's a serious individual who is truly going through his own deep grieving process? And look, even if it's transactional, he owes Charlie Kirk something. Charlie Kirk provided a valuable service in indoctrinating American youth into the MAGA ideology, of creating converts into the cult of Donald Trump. Donald Trump owes, just as a basis of transaction, owes Charlie Kirk something, and he can't even muster respect for 5 minutes on the stage. Even here, where he's saying Charlie loved everybody, untrue, total lie, fabrication, whitewashing, complete rewriting of history that Charlie Kirk loved everybody. But Donald Trump needs to get it on the record that, that's something I disagree with Charlie on. I hate my political opponents. And I want you to remember all of the times that I've talked about Republicans with their hand-wringing and their crocodile tears being concerned about people who hate Donald Trump, who say they hate Donald Trump. I'm somebody who said I hate Donald Trump. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, harumph, they do. Watch Donald Trump at a vigil for Charlie Kirk, at a prayer service for Charlie Kirk, at a memorial to mourn Charlie Kirk, talking about how much he hates his political opponents.
In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit, and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone.
Is that respect? Is that honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk? But they expect us to bend over backwards to make sure we're unified. We love everybody. We need to bring everybody together and bring down the temperature in all of this nonsense. I'm not going to get sucked into that bullshit. I'm going to continue with my eye on victory, with my stated mission and objective to defeating fascism in this age, to defeating Donald Trump and his agenda in this period of American history. That's what I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to get distracted by all of the absolute bullshit about what a good and decent man Charlie Kirk was when he was not. Charlie Kirk was a racist, Christian nationalist bigot, a white supremacist. He was. It's what it was. We have the quotes, we have the evidence, we have the clips, and clip after clip after clip after clip after clip of Charlie Kirk being divisive and being racist and being a white supremacist, a hater of humanity, a hater of black humanity, a hater of Latino humanity. He loved white humanity, white Republican humanity. The most dangerous part of what Donald Trump said is this, though. And it's a signal that he's going to be targeting commentators and influencers and people who analyze and synthesize the news and talk about it from a liberal perspective, from a leftist perspective, from a perspective anything other than MAGA. This is a sinister squelching. This is an intimidation tactic to get people like me and others in this space to not talk about the truth, to not hold Donald Trump and his Nazi goons accountable. Watch this.
As you know, the depraved assassin who planned and executed Charlie's killing has been arrested and charged with capital murder. God willing, he will receive the full and ultimate punishment for his horrific crime. It's a terrible thing. Because you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. Can't let it happen to a country. The Department of Justice is also investigating networks of radical left maniacs who fund, organize, fuel, and perpetrate political violence. And we think we know who many of them are. But law enforcement can only be the beginning of our response to Charlie's murder. Over the last 11 days, we have heard stories of commentators, influencers, and others in our society who greeted his assassination with sick approval, excuses, or even jubilation. You've heard that. So have I. Couldn't believe it. Some of the very same people who spent the last 8 years trying to sit in moral judgment of anyone who disagreed with them about politics suddenly started cheering for a murder. Incredible. You know the names. They're major losers, by the way. That will be proven out in a short period of time. Some of the very people who call you a hater for using the wrong pronoun were filled with glee at the killing of a father with 2 beautiful young children. And the same commentators who this week are screaming fascism over a canceled late-night TV show where the anchor had no talent and no ratings. Last week were implying that Charlie Kirk deserved what happened to him. No side in American politics has a monopoly on disturbed or misguided people. But there's one part of our political community which believes they have a monopoly on truth, goodness, and virtue, and concludes they have also a monopoly on power, thought, and speech. Well, that's not happening anymore. We've turned that corner very quickly. Tragically, atrocities of this kind, and kind that we saw in Utah, of all places, are the eventual consequence of that kind of thinking. If speech is violence, then some are bound to conclude that violence is justified to stop speech. And we're not going to let that be justified.
First of all, Donald Trump made his own jokes about the political violence against Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi. So it rings hollow. Not to MAGA, because they ignore everything. It's just like their Bibles. They cherry pick only the parts they want to. They want to remember. They want to put it into practice. Same with this. Donald Trump's talking about the death penalty. God willing, Charlie Kirk's killer will be murdered by the state. That's what he says. Before he launches into his screed against commentators and influencers who fomented violence, who organized violence. None of that's true. Were there people online who were saying things that I think were tasteless? Yeah. But what commentators, what influencers specifically are you talking about, Donald Trump? Who specifically? It's always vague generalities and nebulous language with these people. But this is not just the opening salvo. We're in the middle of this right now. Donald Trump started this with language in the very first campaign 9-10 years ago. They will not stop until they've criminalized being a liberal, being a leftist. They want to threaten us. They want to intimidate us. I am unintimidatable. I am unafraid. I will continue to exercise my free speech rights under the Constitution of the United States, and I will not be intimidated by this goofy ghoul of a president who is hell-bent on destroying those constitutional protections, on destroying the very democracy, our system of democracy, which undergirds the rule of law. I hope you will also be unintimidatable, unafraid. Continue to speak. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can speak below in the comments and have a conversation. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Please consider, if I'm your flavor of political commentator or influencer, if you will, and you want to help support this work, I would appreciate it very much. First of all, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and like and follow the Facebook page, Dollemore Daily. But you can also, for $2 a month, become a channel member on the YouTube. Click the join button below the video or just on my channel. Or you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast and help support this work that I feel is very important, especially in this moment. You can do so over there. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.